Welcome back to another live and amplified live cast. I'm your host, Tom Quat, and we are back at it again with another amazing podcast. We are right smack dab in the middle of our 25 Days of Christmas, our podcast series celebrating musicians releasing Christmas music or celebrating Christmas music from independent musicians, however you want to word it. That's exactly what we're doing. We got some very special guests with us. We've got the Duggar Band. How's it going today, guys?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having us. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. So before we kind of jump into everything, let's kind of give you a minute to introduce yourselves so people have names to faces, stuff like that.
All right. My name is Jordan Duggar. My name's Seth, and we're brothers. If you can't tell, a lot of people think we're twins, but we're not twins. We're just brothers. But yeah, we're a country duo, and we just released some Christmas music this year.
Awesome, awesome. Well, it's you're technically re-releasing it's like the 10th anniversary of is it your first album? Am I kind of putting all that together correctly?
Well, we've been recording on records since we were like 7 and 4. Yeah, but that was our first. One of the first records that we did in Nashville was a Christmas record. That was before we even moved to Nashville, and we recorded that and released it 10 years ago, Sleigh Ride. And so we're releasing that, and so the songs are just the same as we recorded. Plus, we added a brand new single that we just wrote this year, Smoky Mountain Christmas, and added that to the re-release. So a little bit of the old and a little bit of the new combined, and I saw it as a good opportunity to re-release that because we really had a great time making that record.
Yeah.
And we had taken it down for a while, but decided to put it back out. And so yeah, you can go hear the baby version of us. And
Yeah.
the songs are cool, and we had a lot of fun making it. So we hope everybody enjoys it as well.
Heck yeah, man. So y'all are from Greenville, Tennessee originally.
Yes, yes, sir.
What was it like growing up there as musicians, as brothers, however? Yeah.
Yeah, Greenville is a small town, but it's a beautiful place. It's right at the foothills of the Smoky Mountains, and so we had a beautiful backdrop growing up. Love coming back here to Greenville. We're actually in Greenville right now. We trade off spaces between Greenville and Nashville a lot when we're not on tour. But yeah, Greenville was a great place to grow up. Kind of a small town. Our whole family is from this area, so no matter where we go, we always like to come back and spend some time with them. So it's been great growing up here.
Nice. That it's got to be kind of cool to live far enough away, still live close enough to home that you can go home frequently if you want to, but far enough away where people just can't randomly show up without calling first.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's nice because it's about a 4-hour drive, depending on traffic, to get from where we live in Nashville back home. And so yeah, we have a lot of people drop in and visit. And when we first moved to Nashville, we just had a 2-bedroom place, and so we had some visitors then, but they had to sleep on couches and futon stuff like that. But now that we have a little bit bigger place, we tend to have visitors pretty often, and
Nice.
So it's nice. It's nice to have people visit. And but yeah, you're right. They can't just drop in randomly. They kind of let us know they're coming at least. So
right. You guys just crack the code why nobody ever comes to visit, because all I've got is this couch for them. So
that's the way to do it sometimes.
Right. Oh, so you said you started recording music when you were 4 and 7.
Yeah.
When did you guys start playing together, or was that when you started playing together?
Yeah, so our parents are very musical. Both of their families are very musical. We kind of grew up in it. My dad was part of a Southern gospel group, the Singing Duggars, whenever he was younger. And when I was 4 and Jordan was 7, he did something separate from them and did a family group, the David Duggar family. And so we did Southern gospel music. And so we recorded on records from then, traveling with them and going to a bunch of different churches all over the country, singing. And so that's really what whet our appetite for what we do now, and kind of gave us the dream for what we do now.
Gotcha. And so when you kind of started making that evolution from being it was technically like a family band, correct? Am I kind of hearing that?
Yes, sir.
So when you kind of transitioned out to kind of be your own thing, the Duggar band, Who were you listening to? What was kind of the thought process? Did you know, was there kind of a process of trying to figure out what kind of music you wanted to make, or was it just kind of a common consensus?
Yeah, we grew up singing with them, and our first instrument that we played was drums because our dad's a drummer as well.
Mm.
So from the time we were just little kids, we were dragging pots out of the cabinets and
Yeah.
making our own drum set, like the '80s drum set, like all and every pot.
Yeah.
Uh, but
That's
yeah, we started out on those, and then we were, would sing with our family, and we didn't really get serious about our instruments and really playing music probably until around when I was 15. Seth was like 11 or 12. Broke my leg one summer playing basketball, and was kind of laid up with nothing to do, and started playing guitar because I was just bored out of my mind. And so was trying to just learn different guitar licks and chords and that kind of thing. And one of my uncles uh, gave me an album, and it was Merle Haggard's Greatest Hits record. So there was like probably 16 or 18 songs on that. And so I would just spend 8 or 10 hours a day just, repeating those songs, learning those guitar licks. And so after that record, somebody gave us a Ricky Skaggs record, the Live in London album. I don't know if you remember that one, but some insane musicians on that. And we started trying to get through that. And then our cousin told us, hey, there's this artist you should listen to. He's a great guitar player, Brad Paisley. And so then we started listening to Brad Paisley records, and Seth was listening to the fiddle stuff on all these. I was listening to guitar stuff. So those are some of the first ones that really got us kind of motivated. And I know we were like trying to dress like Brad and everything when we were first getting into music. And
yeah.
so that was kind of a big inspiration early on as far as us playing our instruments and that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Because listening to Sleigh Ride, the initial album, were you influenced by like some swing music? I felt like some very swing elements in some of
Yeah.
the music there.
Yeah, so the cool thing about Christmas music is we have our country stuff, and we kind of have our vein that we're in with country. But when it comes to Christmas music, I feel like it's one of those genres that you can do whatever you want. And that's what's about us is, my brother and I, we were both in band in high school and middle school, and he played sax, I played trumpet. So
Yeah.
we've always liked the big band type sound and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So being able to incorporate that, and it's everywhere in Christmas music, having that big
Yeah.
band sound. And so it's a lot of fun for us to just kind of do things that's a little different than what we normally do. And you have the freedom to do that with Christmas music. So that's kind of what influenced that, and came up with some pretty cool arrangements with some horn parts, and it was just a lot of fun to be able to experiment with some of that.
For sure, for sure. I'm actually, now that we're kind of in the Christmas season and I'm going back watching some of these older Christmas movies like White Christmas, where they have like those big band performances, numbers and whatnot. It's kind of like, I kind of wish they had those still, like just, going to a show and it was more than just listen. Like, I mean, I love going to like a listening room setting and listening to the music, but going, having dinner, listening to the music, getting up and dancing, like that just feels like it'd be a completely different experience. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
So this being kind of your first album you recorded in Nashville, what was it about wanting to do like a Christmas album? Was that something that you just was it just kind of like the time of year, or what was it about that was kind of like the first thing you wanted to do?
Well, some of our family, when we were growing up and we first getting into playing our instruments and stuff, put on Christmas Opry each year. And so I was just kind of like a variety of music and acts and comedy and stuff like that. And so some of the earliest shows, our very first show that we did on our own, like as Duggar Band, was a Christmas show. And that was just kind of a chance for us to do some, wide range of stuff, work in some comedy, put like a show together. Because at this point, we were just doing, gospel music. And so all of our concerts and stuff were more in churches and that kind of thing. And so by doing a Christmas show, we could combine like the religious aspect of Christmas, but then also have the comedy bits and those kind of things. And so, and put on a show. And so that's kind of why early on, our first few shows were Christmas shows, and
Mm.
then because of that, we were like, hey, let's put out a Christmas record, and so that kind of launched us. And I that was our first really like performance as far as more entertainment instead of the gospel or Christian side of things in churches and worship, that kind of thing. So.
Gotcha. Awesome. So this album, you're re-releasing it and adding a new song to it, or adding a new single with it. Are you, when you went in to re-record this, were you like changing the music at all, or was it just kind of more representative of your sound now? Like, yeah.
Yeah, what's cool about this record is we were actually thinking about it this past summer, and we realized that this was the 10th anniversary of this album. We were like, man, we need to. One of our co-writers actually came to us like, hey, we need to write a Christmas song. So we'd never really written a lot of Christmas stuff before. So he's like, we need to write a Christmas song, and y'all could put out a single. And that's whenever we realized, hey, this is the 10th year anniversary of the record, so we might as well re-release the record and then put this single on it. And so we wrote Smoky Mountain Christmas. It's a song that's kind of representative of where we grew up, and just talks about our experience with Christmas and being out on tour and being able to come home and celebrate Christmas with our family. And we have a lot of traditions with our family. So we wrote that song. The songs that were on the original album are the same. And we just added this, I think is it the 8th track? I'm not for sure. I don't remember the number. I think it might be the 8th track.
Yeah.
It's the bonus track. And so that's all brand new. We just recorded it just a couple months ago. But it's kind of cool. So if you listen to the record, you can hear 10-year-old us and then immediately into us right now. So it's kind of neat.
Nice. That's cool. And so kind of approaching when you kind of realized that it was the 10-year anniversary and you decided, okay, let's kind of do this. How did you, or how long of a process was it to record the single? Was it kind of a long process, or did it kind of all come together relatively quickly?
Probably one of the fastest songs that we've ever written and then finished. We kind of wrote it and then immediately went to tracking. So normally when we track a record, it's in a studio. We get all the guys together. We go in and we'll cut 6 or 8 songs in a day. This one, it was just we're just cutting one song because the others were just getting remastered, and so we didn't have to do any actual music work on those. And so we recorded this one a little different. We kind of sent it to the drummer, bass player, and just kept getting passed around. And from one this one, it was like, we have to finish it today or this isn't going to get out in time. And so it happened that Seth had been sick and I had been feeling rough. And so like, thankfully we sounded fine, but like in between takes and stuff, like Seth was laying on the couch in the studio with a blanket over him. And like, it was kind of a rough looking scene in there, but we were able to get the song finished. And thankfully it sounded good. We have, our engineer and co-producer that have been working with us for a while. And so we always tell them, hey, sometimes you can feel bad as a singer but you can still sound okay. And so we always tell them, hey, if we don't sound good, tell us, because I know I don't feel good, but if we don't sound good, let us know that. And so they were like, man, it sounds great. And so even though we didn't feel the best, it still turned out good. And we hit our deadline and got it all finished. So it was a very tight, quick process, and but thankfully it all worked out.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm guessing with that tight turnaround, you didn't did you do like a music video or a lyric video, or is that no?
No, we haven't been able to yet. So we got the song out, got it put, mastered, pressed on the record, got the records in like 2 days before our release concert. release concert for it, and we haven't had a chance to do a music video or lyric video to it yet. We'll probably release that next year.
Okay, fair enough.
We just kind of ran out of time. It was just so last minute. This, like he was saying, this was the fastest we've ever written a song and recorded it, sang it, put it out, and got it distributed. That was a pretty tight deadline for us.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like you guys have had a really busy 2023 just in general, because you also did like Barn Burner and all the stuff throughout the not the previous year, throughout the year and whatnot. But it's like you guys are really swinging for the fences this year. I respect that.
Thank you. Yeah, we're on a schedule right now. We're releasing a new single every 3 weeks, and the Christmas single was just added in with that. So there's actually another single from our normal stuff that was released the same day as the Christmas record was. And so that schedule is continuing on for the foreseeable future. And so we're in the studio finishing up 8 other new songs right now, and will start being released in February. So it's just a continual process, and being in the studio, putting music out. But we were glad we were able to squeeze in the Christmas record this year, because it's been weird to put out 11th anniversary Christmas record. So we hit the 10 and then have to wait like 5 more years or something like that. So
I mean, to be fair, people would have probably remembered the band that released 11-year anniversary.
That's true.
That might be a good marketing tool, yeah.
Right? Because it's like everybody does like the 5-year, 10-year, whatever, but that band that does that 11-year,
So thinking about that one.
Yeah. So with all the recording and whatnot, how often are you playing shows right now?
Well, we're kind of off a little bit from touring during Christmas and all that, but we'll be picking back up this spring and summer. We're playing a lot in Florida and Texas, and we've got a lot of things scheduled. We're currently scheduling things as well. But in the meantime, we're trying to get this music knocked out as quickly as we can so we can be freed up to be able to tour. Because like Jordan was saying, we're releasing a new record. The physical copies of those records go on sale in February, and then we're planning to release another album in July. So a lot of new music and a lot of time spent in the studio right now.
Nice. You guys are killing it. I love it so much. And I really resonate with what you're saying, because it's like you're trying to pull back a little bit and take a break, but you're probably working harder than you've ever worked before. And it's like I tried to do that with the podcast and everything live and amplified, where it's like, okay, mid-December to like mid-January, I'm going to be like not do a whole lot, but I'm looking at my schedule and it's like, I'm going to be busier that month that I want to be off. Then like, yeah, I'm not going to be like doing podcasts face to face, but I'm going to be editing. I'm going to be, doing all this stuff. And it's just like, okay, well, I mean, I guess that's what I wanted. So.
It gives you time to work on all the other things that you kind of miss whenever you're doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Right. It'll be like, okay, well, at least maybe I can go to a show or something. Like I'll be able to get out to go to shows or whatnot. So that'll be kind of cool. But so with this being a Christmas podcast, I got 2 very specific questions I need to ask you.
All right.
Every year, what is the must-watch Christmas movie?
It might be for both of us, but Elf is one of those, because we like laughing in comedies, and there's so many iconic lines in that movie. It's one of our favorites.
I like Home Alone is one of my favorites, and then you can't miss out on Clark Griswold with National Lampoon. That's a good movie too. I was watching a little bit of that.
For sure. Those 2 are actually all 3 of those are iconic classics. It's kind of interesting. I've done 15 of these already, or 14 of these already, and nobody has said A Christmas Story or White Christmas, or like a couple of the other ones that are like super iconic. I'm like, a lot of Christmas Vacation, which is great. I love that movie, but so that's awesome.
Classics as well.
Yeah. And then what is a memorable Christmas moment from growing up as a kid?
I think for me would probably be whenever I got my first fiddle. I was pretty young. I remember our parents got me my fiddle, and so that was pretty special to me, especially with what we do now. And so if we get that, I think that was probably my favorite Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah. think for me, just like all the traditions, like, we always go to our dad's family on Christmas Eve night and come home late that night and get in bed fast so Santa could come. And then we would get up super early the next morning, open presents at our parents' house, and then for lunch go to my mom's side of the family. So just the anticipation of everything, and it just seemed to happen so fast too. Like you like look to it for so long, and then it's just. And I liked, walking into the living room and like, Santa had left all the gifts, and it's just like overwhelmed because you don't know what to look at and that kind of thing. And I'd always go look to see if he had eaten the cookies or not and that kind of thing. So that was really cool. Just the anticipation of everything, the traditions, being with family, and that kind of thing is just always just a special time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, 100% agree. It's always cool to kind of look back at those times as a kid. I was just, as you guys were talking, I was thinking about one moment where my dad had to work Christmas Day because he was a pilot, so he had to work Christmas Day, and my sister and I were 11 and 10 or 11 and 7 or 11 and 8, whatever the age difference would have been. And we were sitting there. It was like, man, we hope Santa comes or has already come when we get home from my aunt's Christmas party, because I really don't want Dad to miss Christmas, like all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And we get home and and Santa had come and whatnot. And it's like, thinking back, it's like, man, we were so stupid, because all they did was Dad disappeared for an hour, put the gifts out, and just kind of that thing. So, but at the time, it was one of those moments where it's like, huh, okay, cool, I like that. So
that's funny.
Yeah. So if anybody wants to listen to the re-release of Sleigh Ride and just any of your music in general, plug social media, all that fun stuff, where's the best place to find you?
You can search any social media that you use the most, Instagram, Facebook, just search Duggar Bands. Follow us on Spotify. We're really pushing that. We're releasing, and Apple Music. We're releasing a new single every 3 weeks there. But the album is also there that you can stream and purchase it from the website and everything. So yeah, just give us a follow. We'd love to meet all of you guys. Shoot us a message. Let us know that you heard us, and let us know what you think about the new Christmas single.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we will catch you all later.